How's it going, guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hayden from HHWCUSTOMS.com, and today I'm going to be showing you guys what I made for the 31 Ford. This is a new casting by Hot Wheels, and I had previously done a video showing it in its stock form, but today I'm going to show you it in its altered, customized form, because the details that were in this originally were lacking, and I wanted to lower it. I wanted to do an engine, I wanted to do an interior, I didn't want to do everything pretty much, so I went ahead and did that. So I actually released that about a week or so ago as of filming this, and it was a lot of people really liked it. A lot of people had the same idea as me. So I figured I'd show a video how to assemble it, a little more in-depth look at that kind of stuff, and show you guys the ride height and all the different things like that. So we'll go right into it. This is a one-piece 3D printed part that I designed fully, and it is going to be a direct fit into the casting itself. So you can see I went ahead and I put the V8 flathead engine, and we got the two, I don't know what you guys call these exhausts, but I call them like booms or something like that. I'm always on the fence of what I'm going to call them, but that's what they look like. Someone could correct me in the comments. But you can see I actually even did go ahead and add a little bit inside that's hollow. That way it could look pretty cool. And you guys do it all silver or chrome, whatever. You guys could get the nice realistic shadow. Moving on to the interior here, you can see that we have the dash, and the dash on these cars is really simple. It's literally just the four little gauges there, and the 4-spoke steering wheel is pretty cool as well. I did add the trans tunnel with the little rivets. That's actually taken from the Bone Shaker, which I have a video coming out on that soon on the aftermarket parts I did for that. So stay tuned for that. And of course, just a very simple little bench seat, like something that would have came in that car originally. And this is just to cover up some of the extra wheel well stuff like that you would see in the rear once you add the wheel. And moving on to the front, we still have disc brakes, which I think is pretty cool, and there is a little sway bar and different stuff like that, cross members, and just a little more detail, something more fun to paint with. And of course, since we got rid of the front bumper, now we just have these little frame rails sticking out, which I think looks pretty cool, especially considering how low it will get to the car. This is pretty much like the lowest point. It's like almost gonna be dragging the ground. And you guys can see the grill, which is pretty realistic to the real thing. I did change the shape of it a little bit to get it to fit and look appropriate, because I followed the sizing before and it did not, it looked too big, it looked too large, so I actually had to shrink it down to get it to the way I wanted to look. But anyways, last little bit is the headlights. The headlights are really cool. And of course on the bottom we have version 1, because I'm still debating if I'm going to change the engine on these, because they are kind of limiting in terms of the room, because that rivet's again so huge. So that's really unfortunate, but that's where most of that engine size has gone. So I can't do anything too small or too new. Anyways, moving on, we have HHW Customs 31 Model A, just so you guys can identify it, and of course HHWC, as it goes on every single thing I make. So that's what it looks like in the raw form. That's what you guys will be getting in the mail. The color may change. I've been printing in black, I've been printing in gray, and of course this red clay. I like it a lot because you can see a lot of the detail. Anyways, right here on the screen is a video of what it looks like on the computer itself. You guys can see there is a lot more detail compared to what actually prints, which is unfortunate, but one day technology is going to be there. You guys can see all the little bits and pieces a lot more clearly. So I'm looking forward to that day that machine comes out and is not going to break the bank. But anyways, moving on, we're going to go ahead and test fit the interior here. This is one I have mocked up with just some wheels. And these are extra large axles you guys are going to need to make. I don't offer them. You can see even here I have one that's a little loose because the pin won't settle in all the way because I don't have long enough axles. But what you guys can do is actually go to Hobby Lobby and get the music wire. It's 0.8 millimeters, and it's the exact same size as the axles, and you guys can just replace them and crimp them on both ends and do whatever you guys want. But I size it so you can fit a 10 in the front and 12 in the rear, but you guys can also stick a 10 in the rear, but it's gonna look a little goofy, but that's up to you guys depending on how big the rubber that you're using is and all that. But go on to assembly. You will need to trim the little stems off of the front of the glass here. Those are gonna get in the way of the engine, and you're not gonna be able to squish it in there. On this model that I have here, it's the only window I have. I originally had it to where you had to cut the window a little bit, but I changed it up and shrunk the actual seat in a little bit, so you didn't have to do that. So just ignore that. On my piece, it has that cut, but on yours, you don't have to. And then it's going to lay just like this right on the dash. just like that. You can see the line up there in the rear. It's be very nice and easy to work with here. And the only other thing you have to do is actually trim down the rivet stems. So this is pretty much matching the body line here. That might be a good guide. But before, if you guys remember in the other video, they were actually, I don't know, 10 millimeters higher. They're a very long car, or they're a very long height, because the original car is not meant to sit this low. So I actually had to trim these down a lot. And then you drill the pilot hole and then tap it and all that stuff. But you guys pretty much can follow the body line there as a good guide on where to cut it, and then you should be good to go. So go ahead and assemble this. We have the glass right on in, and then this is all put together ready. And then if you go ahead and slide it right on in. Right now it's not screwed in, but you can see you guys are going to need a, it's not screwed in right now, but once you do get it all screwed in, this will go squish a little bit more, but you might have to use something with a bigger head because of how thick the rivet hole is. The traditional screws that we use, the button heads, aren't wide enough. So maybe you guys can get a small washer, or just find an appropriate screw that has a big enough head to actually clamp on it. You can. Right now it's not going anywhere and it's just snug, so sometimes you might not even need it, but I know there's some people that are perfectionists and they want every screw to fit perfectly, so that's just something to look out for when buying this kit. But this is what it looks like on the car itself, with the wheels, everything. Keep in mind there's nothing else done to this casting other than stripping the paint and then the two rivet stems cut. Everything else is all factory. There's no sanding, no nothing I did, so it's pretty cool. And you can see if I squish these together here, I know that, like I said, the axles are kind of messed up on these, but that's all I had at the moment. You can see they actually do not hit the body, which is a nice thing, so you guys can put some nice big wheels on there. I'm actually planning to put some like off-road wheels on another casting I have whenever I get another one of these, and kind of make it more rat roddy, and then eventually chop it, but that's later down the line. But you can see even the boom tubes do not hit the sides of the body at all. It all clearance, and that way you guys can go ahead and just take it out, put it back in, however you guys want, without having to run into any issues of clearance. And there you go. So you can see the wheel. Actually, this is I think this is a 12. I don't know the exact 12 point what, but it's pretty much rides that line of the trunk, which is very, very nice to see. And of course you can go larger, it's just gonna give it a little more rake to it. But you guys can see the interior from the windows, all the little details. And like I said, this car is pretty basic in real life. There's not too much going on like modern cars, but there's only so much you can do with like the actual interior without making everything so cramped in there. You lose the look of it. So I just went for the basic dash, pedals, gauges, and then the seat and steering wheel. You can see the front there is very, very nice. I do like the way it looks. Here's a picture I took and I thought it looked really, really cool of it head like straight on. Looks really nice. And then yeah, that's pretty much it right there. It'll be a direct fit. Like I said, you just gotta screw it in and you'll be good. So now right here, this is a roll test. This is, I'm putting no, I mean this, like I said, this isn't even screwed in. You guys see it's going on its own. So as long as you guys get that rivet hole in the appropriate height, you guys won't need to do any kind of fitment or rubbing or anything like that. Like I said, this is the lowest point right here is the frame in the front. So as long as the wheels go lower than that, you'll be good. Here's the actual like ride height on it, on the side view of it. Definitely lower than the stock one, that's for sure. So if you guys have this casting and you're interested in customizing it at all, just like how I have in the video, I have this kit for sale. It's on my website at HHWCUSTOMS.com. You guys can also check the link in the description. It'll send you right to it. And if you guys do use them, please feel free to tag me on Instagram or shoot me an email with a picture of your progress and stuff like that. I really do like to see all that. And yeah, if you guys have any ideas for any other custom parts you want to see me make, please email me or leave a comment and I'll try to add it to the list. I'm always trying to do some new stuff. I know as of recording this, I believe the next drop I'm releasing is a 67 C10 lowered frame. So I think that's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be a frame and the interior and the grille and all that stuff. So that should be the next drop. So please check my Instagram and be on the lookout for that. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, and if you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That helps me a lot. See you guys in the next video.